Hello everyone, good morning. Today we are going to discuss about trust relationship. So what is this trust relationship? Why we need a trust relationship? So trust relationship is a secure communication path that allow objects in one domain to be authenticated and accepted in other domains. So, so some trust are automatically created. So parent and child domains trust each other, and tree root domain trust forest root domain. Tree root domain trust forest root domain. So forest to forest transitive trust relationship can be created in servers. So why we need a trust relationship? See, usually this trust relationship requires uh, two uh, two companies. Two companies are, if they are going to be merged as a company, as a one company, or one company um, uh, take out another company. So in these scenarios, trust relationship uses. One second, this is not deleting. Okay, one moment. So two different companies. Let's take two companies. Okay. Uh, okay. One moment. Now, one moment. Yeah. So let's take two companies. These two companies. For example, I will take an example which happened recently. L&T and Mindtree. These two, before they were different companies. So L&T Infotech. L&T Infotech. L&T Infotech is a company, and Mindtree. Mindtree. So there are these two companies merged as a one company. So in this scenario, see, L&T is forest. This is one forest. One forest, right? Like we are in one forest, and this is a one forest. So there are two different forests. There are two different companies. So each company having a forest. So in forest, trees, domains. Okay, but these two forests, before merging, they don't have any relationship. So means, what are the users in the Mindtree cannot access L&T Infotech resources. L&T Infotech users cannot access Mindtree resources. Resources means what? Servers, printers, data, all software and hardware resources, projects, whatever we can. So they cannot access each other because there are two different forests. In this scenario, if these two companies are decided to work together, then they need a trust relationship. Trust relationship. Trust relationship. So if trust relationship is created between these two forests, what will happen? Whatever the Mindtree employees can access to L&T resources, L&T employees can access Mindtree resources. So vice versa, they can access servers vice versa. They can access data vice versa. They can access files vice versa, everything. So vice versa, they can access everything because trust relationship. We created trust relationship between these two forests. When this will happen? Usually in corporate, if one company is takeovering another company, in that scenario also, or else if both companies decided to work together or form as a one company, then we can create a trust relationship. See, this both companies are decided to work together, so they formed as a L&T Mindtree, LTI. LTI. LTI is L&T Mindtree means what is L&T or LMT? What is LTI? LTI is the company. LTI Mindtree. Yeah, this is the LTI Mindtree company. So they decided to work together as a LTI Mindtree. Now LTI Mindtree is one company. But initially there are two different forests. There are two different companies. So initially in the process of merging, they create a trust relationship. In the trust relationship, Mindtree employees can access L&T resources. L&T employees can access Mindtree resources. Okay, this is one scenario. Another scenario in the corporate world. So this is one company. This is one company. This is Tech Mahindra. This is Tech Mahindra. This is Satyam Computers. I think most of you guys don't have any idea about Satyam Computers. There is a company called Satyam Computers. So due to some issues, Tech Mahindra, I think Satyam Computers sell the company to Tech Mahindra. So Tech Mahindra take over Satyam Computers. Tech Mahindra take over the Satyam Computers company. So these are also before takeover. This is also two different forests. Two different forests. So now once if any company take over A company take over B company, for example, then A should take care everything. A should access everything, right? Like now here also we create a trust relationship. Trust relationship. Then only see here there is two-way trust. Two-way trust. Two-way trust means both parties. This is two-way trust. So both employees can access resources, vice versa. This is two-way trust. And also there is a one-way trust also there. This is one-way trust. Two-way trust and one-way trust. This is one-way trust. One-way trust. Here, what happened? Takeover. Here happened takeover. One-way trust relationship. One-way trust relationship means only Tech Mahindra employees, management can access Satyam Computers. But Satyam Computers management and employees cannot access Tech Mahindra. So Tech Mahindra take over Satyam Computers. So they created a one-way trust. So in the process of merging process, migration, process. So Tech Mahindra slowly migrate the things, projects, employees, resources, everything into Mahindra, Tech Mahindra, right? So this is one-way trust. Only Tech Mahindra employees management can access Satyam Computers, but Satyam Computers employees cannot access Tech Mahindra because only one-way trust here. This is one-way trust. So here, trust relationships, categories, transitive trust, non-transitive trust. Directions, one-way incoming trust, one-way outgoing trust, two-way trust. So as I said, here two-way trust is one-way trust. Either it is an incoming or outgoing. So this is outgoing trust. For Satyam, it is an incoming trust. For Tech Mahindra, this is an outgoing trust. If you see from Tech Mahindra, it is an outgoing trust. If you see from Satyam Computers, it is an incoming trust. So trust types. There are types of trust: default, shortcut, external, forest, and realm. These are the trust types and the trust directions and the trust categories. Let's talk about this trust categories first. So transitive trust, non-transitive trust. What is this transitive and non-transitive trust? Okay, let's see. I'm just taking three. Okay. Okay. Let's say these are the three companies. Domain. Let's say this is one domain. I mean, this is a one company. Domain A. Here B. Okay. And this is C. 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 So I'm talking about transitive trust. One moment. Transitive trust. Transitive trust. So how transitive trust works? How transitive trust works? See, for example, here, trust domain A, trust domain B. Domain A means trust domain B. Domain B, transitive trust domain C. See, here domain A, trust domain B. Domain B, trust domain C. Then automatically, there is no trust relationship required between these two domains. Automatically, domain C trust domain A trust domain C. See, here trust relationship, no need to create. Automatic trust relationship will be created between these two domains. Because here what happened? Domain A trust domain B trust domain C. So indirectly, domain C, domain A, trust domain C, right? So this is called transitive trust. Okay. So coming to non-transitive. This is non-transitive trust. How non-transitive trust works? Non-transitive works. Got it? Now, here domain A trust domain B here, non-transitive trust. Domain B trust domain C, transitive trust. In this scenario, there is no trust relationship between A and C. A trust B, B trust C, but A will not trust C in non-transitive trust. That is the difference between transitive and non-transitive trust. Okay, there is no trust relationship here, but here automatically trust A, trust C, trust C, trust A. Okay, and coming to two-way trust directions. Let's talk about trust directions. So trust directions based on the real-time requirement. If see, this is the one requirement. If both companies work together, decided to work together and form as one company, then two-way trust. If one company take over another company, then only creates one-way trust. Because Tech Mahindra, in a layman language, bought Satyam. Tech Mahindra company bought Satyam Computers. Okay, so Tech Mahindra company management can access everything in Satyam resources, Satyam Computers resources. But Satyam Computers resources means management employees cannot access Tech Mahindra because Tech Mahindra bought the Satyam Computers, right? So in that scenario, only one-way trust. So that is one-way incoming or one-way outgoing trust. Next, trust types. Here, trust types. So default, shortcut, external, forest, realm. Default two-way trust transitive. Here in default, there is a two-way trust, transitive trust. And shortcut, one or two-way transitive Kerberos trust. Reduced authentication trust. External, one-way non-transitive NTLM trust. And forest, one or two-way transitive Kerberos trust. And realm, one or two-way non-transitive trust. Usually forest and realm, these two trust types we use in the real time. Okay, in the real time. So these are the trust types. So coming to functional level, domain forest functional level. Domain functional level can be raised independently of other domains. Raises forest functional level is performed by the enterprise admins. Required all domain functional levels to be Windows server at these. See, raised functional level, for example, as we said, trust relationship. See, to create a trust relationship between two forests, make sure in these two forests have had a Windows operating systems. Windows, for example, here Windows Server 2012. Okay, and here Windows Server NT. then you cannot Windows Server entity. It's a very old. Then you cannot make a trust relationship, because here the Forest on Windows Server 2012, here Forest on Windows Server NT. In the Forest, every server has a Windows Server NT operating system. In the Forest, every server has a Windows Server 2012. So we cannot make a trust relationship, because here the operating systems are not compatible. So then we need to raise this to at least Windows Server 2008, at least 8 or 12. So then only we can make a trust relationship. That is called functional level compatibility. So domain functional levels can be raised independently of other domains. So raising forest functional level is performed by the enterprise admins. Raising. So you need to raise from Windows Enter to 2012 or 2008. Then only we can make a trust relationship between these two forests. Okay. And Active Directory recycle bin. Earlier, we don't have a recycle bin. For example, if we delete something unexpectedly, unfortunately, if we delete anything in the Active Directory, we cannot restore. Before, earlier, for example, unfortunately, if I delete any user account or a group or a computer, if I delete unfortunately any object in the Active Directory, we cannot restore it earlier, but now we can restore it. We can restore it. That is called Active Directory recycle bin. If we enable Active Directory recycle bin, like how we are, if we delete anything, we will restore from recycle bin, right? If we delete any data unfortunately, accidentally, then we can restore it from the recycle bin. Likewise, if we delete any object in the Active Directory unfortunately, still we can restore it, that object. But before, earlier, we cannot. Now we can, because there is a new feature, Active Directory recycle bin. So if you delete anything, you can simply restore. So that is called Active Directory recycle bin. Okay. So any questions so far on theory part? If you're okay, then we will jump into the lab. Any questions?
No, sir.
Okay, good. Yeah, coming to lab. See, I have configured a new server and installed Active Directory services and configured new forest called IBM. Let me log in. See, this is a IBM domain forest. So this is a DC domain controller, IBM.com. So this is IBM forest. And now we have a ARN forest. So we are going to make a trust relationship between these two companies so that these two companies can access resources vice versa. So first, before creating a trust relationship, let's check these um, users. Are they able to communicate or access resources or not? Okay, so I will try to log in administrator user in IBM. ARN Forest administrator. So Control Alt Del here, ARN/administrator. Administrator and password. See, I'm logging with ARN Forest administrator. See, he cannot log in because there is no trust relationship between IBM and ARN. So now I'll try to log in with IBM administrator, IBM Forest administrator. Whether the IBM user able to log in into the ARN domain or not, let's see. IBM/administrator. No, see, vice versa, they cannot access their resources because there is no trust relationship between these two Forest, ARN and IBM, because they are two different companies. So if they are going to merge as a one company, or the IBM is taking, if the IBM is taking over ARN company, then a trust relationship will make usually in the real time. So now let's make a trust relationship between these two users, between these two forests. Okay. So first let me log in here. ARN. Okay, fine. Now I will create a trust relationship between these two forests, ARN and IBM. So first, let me open here. Go to Tools, Domain and Trust, Active Directory, Domains and Trust. Open. Okay, and right click on ARN, go to Properties, go to Trust. See here, here we need to create a trust relationship. Here we need to create a trust relationship. Click New Trust. Click Next. And sorry, before creating a trust relationship, we need to check the IP address of both forests. Click here, Properties, TCP/IP. Open, not this one, this one. Local server. Click here, Properties, and TCP/IP. See, this is a wrong. So 192.168, 223, 200. Okay. Here we need to give the alternative DNS of ARN IP address. This one, 192, 168, 223, and 10. 10 is a ARN Forest domain controller IP address. Okay. 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 Let me remove this here. Okay. Properties. Okay. 200 and 100. Sorry, 10. 10 of ARN Forest DC IP address, domain controller IP address. Okay. 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 Now come to here and give the alternative IP address of IBM DC. IBM DC 192, 168, 223, 200. Just make sure, yeah, correct. Close, close, close. Now the network is established. See here, I'm configuring is different. In the real-time configuration was different because real-time IBM usually runs on a different IP address, and ARN forest runs on a different IP address. So the network CCNA team usually make a communication between two forests. Like they'll make a communication uh, making a static routing or a dynamic routing. With help of static and dynamic routing, they'll make these two forests in the communication. So first of all, initial point, we make sure communicate both company networks using static routing or dynamic routing. That is a CCNA thing. The network team will take care of that. So after communication, we will start creating a trust relationship between these two companies. Okay, so here coming to lab, see, because we don't have any infrastructure here to create all this stuff, so that is the reason I gave the IP address, same IP address, same network, 192 network here and there. Then only they will communicate. But in the real time, there is no same IP address. Might be different IP address. Okay, fine. Now let's create a trust relationship. As I already verified that both users are not communicated and both are resources, both servers not in the communication. Okay, now we will create a trust relationship between these two forests. Create, click Active Directory Domain and Trust. Up to here, any questions? You may get a chances to do in the real time, you may not get, because this is a rare situations which come across in the real time. So that too, usually enterprise admins will do that stuff. If you means if you go that position, so you will be the one to do this. So usually enterprise admins will do this, all the high level steps. Okay, right click on arn.com, go to properties, click trust. Okay, click new trust, click next. Here you need to give the trust name. Okay, so I'm just giving ibm.com. Okay, ibm.com. Click next. So external trust, forest trust. You need to select. I need a forest trust. Both forest will need to communicate. Click next. Two-way trust or one-way incoming or one-way outgoing. So I'm selecting two-way trust. Click next. So this is domain only, this domain only, or both this domain and the specified domain, both domains. Click next. Here you need to give the administrator password of IBM, administrator password and username, administrator username and password of IBM domain or IBM forest. Administrator and password. Okay, click next. Here forest wide authentication or selective authentication. I want forest wide authentication. Click next. Click next. See, this is two forest wide authentications. Outgoing level, both outgoing trust authentication level specified forest, outgoing trust authentication level local forest, both forest wide. Click next. See, here this domain arn.com, specified domain ibm.com, duration two-way. Users in the local domain can authenticated in the specified domain and users in the specified domain can authenticate it in local domains. See, trust type forest trust. Click next. Now making the trust changes. So here which domain you want to. I don't want to trust with this techsolutions.com, only ARN. Click next. Click next. See, you can read if you want. Click next. So here, no, I don't confirm the outgoing trust. Yes, I confirm the outgoing trust. Yes, I confirm the outgoing trust. You need to select yes. Click next. Do you want to confirm the incoming trust? Yes. Yes, incoming and outgoing. Yes, click next. See, the trust relationship was successfully created and confirmed. Route these names to the specified forest ibm.com. Route these names to the specified forest arn.com. Finish. See, now IBM is showing here. Okay. Okay. Now you can verify. Here, come here and go to Active Directory and Domain Trust. Right click on it, go to properties, and you can check here. See, now you're able to see ARN. Before, we cannot see this. I forgot to show you this. There is no ARN before. After creating trust, you can see ARN here. Okay, good. Now let's check. Let's check the administrators are able to log in vice versa or not. Okay, if they couldn't able to log in, there is a one small change we need to enable. Go to group policy management in both sides. Here, domain controller, right click on it, go to edit, expand, because administrators, see, we are checking with the clients. If we are checking with the clients, then no need to do this change. We are checking the users on the domain controller itself. So domain controller will not allow normal users and other users to log into the domain controller. So for that, we need to tell to domain controller, please allow this user to log into domain controller. So go to computer configuration and policies and Windows settings, security, account policy, user rights assignments, allow logon locally. Here you need to add IBM administrator user. IBM administrator user. If you click location here, see, IBM is showing up. IBM is showing up. If you didn't see IBM here, then your trust relationship was not successful. IBM. Now, administrator, check name. Yeah, click OK. Okay. Now see, IBM administrator. We just allowed this IBM administrator user account in arn.com domain controller because of login. So we are allowing IBM administrator account to log into the ARN domain controller, ARN forest domain controller. Here also we have to do the same in IBM domain controller also, because only IBM domain controller accept administrator only. Okay, so we need to allow other administrator to log in IBM. Expand this domain controller, right click on it, edit, policies, Windows settings, security settings, local policies, user rights, allow logon local, add user, browse, click location. If you don't see ARN here, then there is no successful trust relationship. So now ARN is showing up. Now we are adding administrator account from ARN forest. administrator. So this is the administrator. Okay, okay, okay. Now ARN administrator is allowed to log in IBM domain controller. IBM domain controller. Okay, good. Now let's verify whether these users are able to access vice versa or not. Okay, okay. Now log off from the ARN administrator account and log in back with IBM. IBM slash administrator. See, now the IBM administrator able to log into ARN Forest domain controller, right? So now let's check here with ARN administrator. See, now the ARN administrator is able to log in IBM Forest. So now every user from IBM able to access arn.com, I mean ARN Forest, and ARN users can able to access IBM Forest. So vice versa, now the both resources, human resources and every resources, hardware, software, soft servers, everything able to access from one company like IBM to ARN, from ARN to IBM. Are you clear, guys? So yesterday I tried to do with that other domain, but that was not successful. So we need to create a separate forest to create a trust relationship. Okay. And next, recycle bin, active directory recycle bin. So that is also didn't work yesterday. So let me, okay, now sign out from the login with IBM administrator. Okay. So if we unfortunately delete any object in the Active Directory, then how to restore the objects? So earlier, we cannot restore the objects in 2003, 2000, Windows NT, and 2008 as well. But now there is a provision to restore the objects. If we delete any objects in the Active Directory, unfortunately, we can restore it. So go to Active Directory Administrative Center and enable the Active Directory Recycle bin. See here, enable recycle bin. Click here, OK. Please refresh Active Directory domain. OK, refresh. Yeah, it is same enabled. Once again. Okay, so let me delete one object in the Active Directory. See, there is no, okay, let me create a user. Test. See, I create the user. Now let me delete this, delete. So I unfortunately delete this account. Now let's see deleted objects. Go here, see, you can see test. So there is no test user here because I have deleted the test user. Not only user, if you delete any object, if any object, that will go to here. Now you can restore it, right click it, restore. Okay. Now if you refresh here, you can see the test user. Okay. Let me refresh. See, there is no test user here. Let me refresh. See, now I got the test user back. So likewise, we can uh, enable the active directory recycle bin. So this is very important. This we need to enable the recycle bin, active directory recycle bin. So if anyone unfortunately delete anything, so it's not a big deal to create, but we cannot restore the remaining part. See, if we there are a lot of configuration for a particular user or a group, so we cannot recreate the configuration. It will take time. Of course, you can create, but it will take time. So if we delete anything, we can simply restore that. Everything will be restored. Okay. So any questions on this? Any questions?
No, sir.
Okay. Thank you. And that's all about yesterday's class. Let me stop the recording.